Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beyond Compare Wrestling.
Thank you for joining us here tonight on the Urban Warfare Night 3 pre-show. And as we've seen on Night 2, we have new BCW World Tag Team Champions in the Exiled. They were able to defeat the Game Changers, but as we've seen from the video package at the beginning, they were attacked by Jacob Akane, and we have some exclusive footage of when Jacob Akane arrived to the building earlier today. We'll see what develops with Jacob Akane, but tonight we have The Tool and Fancy Dan, and here are their promos from last week.
Hey, Tool, don't take the loss so hard. Look, I know it's not your birthday, but I am going to give you a present anyway. I'm going to give you one more shot at me, so we can see who the better wrestler is. Oh, and I figured you might not accept my challenge, so I was prepared for that. Hey, Dirty Don. It was me who spray painted the graffiti on your locker room wall, on the production truck, everywhere. Sweet Cox was taken out by Benson, and you are facing Ken Show next week, so, if you want to get some revenge, The Tool is your only option. Make the match. The Tool versus Fancy Dan next week in a street fight.
Fancy Dan, you idiot. Why would you tell Dirty Don about the graffiti? Do you really want to face me that bad? Well, your plan worked and Dirty Don wants me to face you next week, so congratulations, the match is on. But let me ask you this, do you know why I am called the Tool? I am called the Tool because I am an instrument of destruction. I am a full-body weapon. Last time I beat you, I needed the added pressure Dirty Don put on me to really kick myself into high gear, and now, thanks to you, I have that pressure again. So don't be too cocky about our match because I have a whole toolbox of tricks to beat you. Be careful what you wish for because there is no going back now, you have sealed your fate.
Well, there we have it, and that is what has set up tonight's pre-show main event. The Tool versus Fancy Dan 3 in a street fight. 60-minute time limit, no disqualifications, no countouts. There must be a winner. These two men have been facing each other for months and months. who is coming out with the victory in this rubber match, who will win the series, the Tool or Fancy Dan. We're going to find out right now.
Standing 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighing 185 pounds, from wherever he is told, the Tool.
And here he is, the Tool. In this series, it is one win apiece for each competitor. The Tool won their first outing. Fancy Dan won the second one. So tonight we have the rubber match, throwing all the rules out the window in this street fight. The Tool making his way here to the ring, and he had some very interesting comments from his promo from last week, where he was talking about how he is called the Tool because he is a walking weapon. He has a whole toolbox full of moves and maneuvers and skills that he's going to use to try and take out Fancy Dan. And he made a very good point. In their first meeting, he had that added pressure put on him by Dirty Don, and that was the secret sauce that he needed to win. He has that pressure here tonight. Dirty Don has tasked him to come out and take out Fancy Dan. Will that added pressure lead to another win?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fancy Dan.
And here he is, young, full of exuberance, and by the look on his face, he is ready to get in here and settle the score. Fancy Dan, of course, on night 1 of Urban Warfare, he faced the Tool, and he evened up the series to 1-1. He won their last matchup. So I think he has a little bit of momentum, a little bit of the mental edge coming into this one. We're going to see if he can use that to parlay himself into a win and pick up the victory in this trilogy. And here we go. The rule book is out the window. The Tool versus Fancy Dan 3 in a street fight for our Urban Warfare Night 3 pre-show. And the Tool with a beautiful maneuver to kick off this match. And we're going to see if the street fight stipulation pays dividends for each competitor. The Tool up on the top rope here. Goes for a big move right away and comes up short. That is not what you want about 30 seconds into this match, going on the top rope and crashing and burning. Oh, and Fancy Dan blocks that drop kick. Throwing up the forearms and just blocking that drop kick and counters. Goes right into a suplex and just beating him down with the punches here. And Fancy Dan, he is looking for some plunder right away. The Tool's in hot pursuit, and a big springboard Rana to the outside. Fancy Dan grabbed that kendo stick, and the Tool just shut him down. Did not have enough time to slide under the ropes and confront him face to face, so just decided to go right off the top. And that, I think, is what the Tool meant by a walking weapon. We have not seen him do a big Rana to the outside like that before, but he pulled that out tonight. He's probably got tricks in his bag that he has kept up his sleeve, so we're going to see what he takes out here tonight. And Fancy Dan with a beautiful Rana himself on the outside. And unlike a singles match, there is no urgency for these competitors to get back in the ring. Speaking of not getting back in the ring, hits the Tool with a beautiful DDT on the outside and the first crack of the weapon. That kendo stick having that bamboo come crashing into your skin. Of course, the bamboo stick's so light, you get that speed. You hear that whipping, zipping sound. And when it connects with the skin, you get that loud crack. It just transfers all that energy right into the skin. What's Fancy Dan got here? Big DDT. Floats into the cover. Could it be over right away? 2. Tool kicks out at 2. That just shows the rivalry that these two have brewing. Wasting almost no time, about a minute into the match. Oh no, Fancy Dan, he went for the baseball bat but opted to throw it down. Is Fancy Dan trying to show that he does not need the weapons to beat him? Oh, and he's going for his finisher here. The dandy. He might not need the weapons. That could be it. Fancy Dan goes for the cover. He beat him last time with it. 2. And the tool kicks out. That is how Fancy Dan won the second outing. That is how he evened up the score in this rivalry. By hitting the move that he calls the dandy. And now he's got the bat. Now he's looking to use it here. Teeing up. Oh. And the tool with the eye of the hurricane. I think he may have hit the back of his head on the bat. And as I was mentioning before, the kendo stick's so light you can generate that speed with it. But the baseball bat's so heavy. Oh, is he? Oh, and now he's wearing them out. Listen to the cracks. Fancy Dan knows he's got to get up. Sometimes that pain, especially from the kendo stick, that pain just wakes you up and forces you to go after your opponent. Sometimes the pain goes through your body in such a sharp manner that it just forces your body to move and wriggle and you get out of those pinfall attempts. Well, now we got the sting and the crack of the kendo stick in the ring. We got the baseball bat. Oh, he's wearing him out now. And that could be it. 1. Oh, and Fancy Dan kicks out at 1, sending a message to the tool on that one. Now the tool opts to go for the kendo stick. Misses a few times with it, though. Fancy Dan throws him in the ropes, drops down, leapfrogs, and goes for the big back body drop, landing right on the bat. And especially when you don't land flat on that canvas, that bat. Oh, and Fancy Dan, he's getting fancy with it. With the kendo stick and right to the head. The tool barely able to get up, and a straight punch to the jaw. Tool knows he needs to reverse. He's got him here with the pump handle that he calls the toolbox. That's his finisher. Both these men getting desperate, both these men using the weapons, but both men do not want to give up, and a stiff shot there to the face. Shot to the spine. Both these men tonight, they've faced each other twice before. Each man have picked up a victory, so they know each other's moves. A lot more counter wrestling tonight than we've seen in the past. And a huge baseball bat shot to the head, and another. And a third. The tool could be knocked out, and he rolls to the outside. The tool is hurt. That is 3 baseball bat shots to the head. And he's grabbing his head. His head is screaming. Referee might have to get in there, analyze, check it out. And this might be a referee stoppage right into the steel steps. This rivalry has been so personal, so heated. But eventually it gets to the point where we got to have the wrestler's safety in mind. Referee might have to call for a stoppage. We might have to bring in the doctor. And this one might get stopped before one of these competitors can either give up, submit, or get pinned. Because this is absolutely brutal with the weapons they're using. They're fighting here on the outside, and the tool has just been taking out Fancy Dan's arm on the outside. Oh, and now the tool shrugging off the weapon, saying he's going to beat him straight up now. Big punch. What's he got here? He's going for the bulldog. Bulldog onto those thin mats on the outside. As I was mentioning before, both these men doing a lot more counter wrestling this time, but the tool is starting to gain that momentum. He throws down the bat again. Such a personal rivalry, but that I think these men... Oh, and he hits him with the bat. The tool should have kept the bat. And this could be it now. This could be over. 2. Tool kicks out. There is only so many shots with a bat you can take. And there's only so many shots with a sledgehammer you can take it right to the gut. You have the crack of that kendo stick. You have the low thud of that baseball bat. And you have that absolutely brutal shots from the metal head of that sledgehammer. Kick to the gut. Setting him up for the dandy. Hits him. This has got to be it. The tool's got to be done. 1, 2. Fancy Dan wins. Fancy Dan picks up the win. Puts a huge exclamation point on this rivalry. Goes up 2 wins to none. Wins back-to-back times against the Tool. And both men were really amping it up. They started out light with the kendo stick. They boosted it up to the medium setting with that baseball bat. And then they kicked it into high gear with that sledgehammer, and that was the difference maker. Fancy Dan picks up the win on the pre-show. Congratulations to him.
Here is your winner via pinfall, Fancy Dan.
Wow, and what a way to kick off night 3 of Urban Warfare. But next week we have some huge matches still to come. We got Liam Connors versus Pedro Loco. NSFW have an open challenge. We have a Kiss My Ass match. Sergio Gomez versus Byron Cassidy. And for the World Championship, Kensho versus Dirty Dawn. Night 3 has got some big matches. Thank you for joining us here tonight, and we'll see you next week.